And the news at 5 starts with a story you'll only see right here on WUSA 9. Thank you for joining us. I'm Leslie Foster.
And I'm Annie Yu. Welcome in. A high-profile and salacious case that rocked a Fairfax County community closed a chapter Friday. Brendan Banfield will now spend life in prison without parole.
A jury found him guilty of working with his family's au pair, Juliana Perez Magalhaes, to murder his wife, Christine, and a stranger named Joseph Ryan. Christine's family sat down exclusively with our Matthew Torres.
In their only interview, they discussed what Christine meant to them and what Brendan did to their family.
It's hard to forget the good memories of Christine Banfield.
That's me, and that is Christine.
Danielle Hocker may have been her older sister.
We like to dress alike.
But their bond was unbreakable.
This is when I was in college. We did sumo wrestling. Like I said, she came and visited me many times.
She's choosing to remember the brighter days.
She wanted everybody around her to be as happy as she was.
Not the darkness that consumed her family for more than 3 years.
A man shot and killed a woman stabbed to death.
After Christine, a beloved mother and nurse, was brutally stabbed to death in her own home in Fairfax County.
Nobody deserves what she endured and what she suffered.
All right, the case of Commonwealth versus Brendan Banfield. Mr. Banfield's present in the courtroom.
Last week, the man who killed her was sentenced to life without parole. Her husband, Brendan Banfield. A jury convicted him of murdering not only her, but shooting and killing a man named Joseph Ryan, who he lured to their home using a sex fetish website. Prosecutors argued the goal was to frame him as a violent intruder, despite an invite to perform a rape fantasy, all while the couple's then 4-year-old daughter was in the basement.
It is apparent that I am once again looking at that same kind of evil.
Prosecutors say it was an elaborate scheme to be with the woman he was having an affair with, their family au pair, Juliana Perez Magalhaes. She conspired with Brendan and faced the penalty of 10 years behind bars.
I believe she meant no more to him than anyone else in his life. She was just another person to control and exploit.
Danielle took the stand to call her former brother-in-law calculated and narcissistic, disputing his testimony during trial that Christine was a cheater who fantasized a violent rape scenario.
To question her values and her morals when she couldn't defend herself is unfathomable and unforgivable.
Christine and Brendan first met each other in college in 2004. They married 6 years later and eventually moved from New York to Virginia. He became an IRS agent. She was a beloved pediatric nurse at Inova Fairfax.
She was a mentor to many people in her own hospital. She was always one to make a friend no matter who they were.
Father Gary Benson says while they never saw red flags about Brendan before the murders, he felt suspicious about him from the start of the investigation.
Did anyone suspect Brendan early on?
I don't know if I want to say suspected him, but involvement, it's possible. At the beginning, some of the way he presented himself with his mannerism, his storytelling, and he changed it several times. All he kept saying was, "I'm sorry." I said, "What are you sorry for?" And he said, "I'm just sorry. I can't talk anymore."
I'm greatly disappointed in the legal system.
In his 10-minute statement before sentencing, Brendan never addressed Christine's family and their loss. Instead, he relitigated the case, arguing his innocence.
The planning and manipulation that he pulled off with Juliana was just beyond the normal person's frame of mind. My only question would be to him is, why didn't you just leave?
That was my prom.
The family's focused on creating new memories with Christine's daughter, who is now 8 years old, including an upcoming yearly fishing trip.
These are the things that last with you forever, that you can't take away.
They're choosing to remember the brighter memories. A woman who grew up thoughtful, kind, passionate, and wise. A love for boy bands and outdoor activities. An impression they hope lasts longer than the anguish of how she died.
She should be remembered not just for how she died, but how she lived.
Matthew Torres, WUSA 9.
And we have been covering every angle of this case since the very beginning, and you can stream all of our coverage right now on the free WUSA 9 app for your TV.